we're going to recap Week 10 and Week 11, but we are making our Week 12 picks. And I'll explain why in the video. And hello there, everyone. It is the DOUG here once again. And we are back for NFL Week 12 picks. Now, I know what everyone's going to ask. Where were you last week? Well, if you follow me on Facebook or Twitter, I kind of said there would be no video because of the fact that I was checking myself into Tucker's, which is a place for mental health. Remember, guys, if you have any mental health issues, please go seek help. Don't let it bottle up inside because it could lead to some disastrous things. So please go get the help. That's what I did. That's why there was no video. But as my good 49er fan Dave can attest, I did post my picks before leaving. So I did do that. I was of some conscience in mind, as the saying goes, to at least do that. By the way, we do have our good buddy Dave here. Hello, Dave. How you doing tonight? Exactly. Happy early Thanksgiving to you as well. I'm glad you're doing good. I know you're happy about your 49ers. You did get it, but hey, Buffalo lost to Jacksonville. Let's keep that in mind. Which we're going to be discussing all that in a few minutes and getting this shared to the people who wanted to watch this week's videos. So just bear with me. Yeah, because we're still at the same place for now, since we don't have to worry about getting out of here to fucking January. Hooray! No problem. That works with me. Now, here's what we're going to do a little differently, guys, because if you're usually used to us, you're used to me just recapping 1 week. But because I didn't get to recap Week 10, we're going to recap Week 10 first. Then we're going to go to Week 11 and just recap that and discuss some of the games. We're going to go to the playoff standings after that, talk about some of the big news that's coming out, and then get to the picks. So as a quick recap from Week 10, the Dolphins lost to the Ravens. The Cowboys destroyed the Falcons. Titans got by the Saints. Colts got by the Jaguars. Patriots beat the Browns. Bills beat the Jets. The Steelers and Lions tied because both teams fucking suck. Washington upsetted the Buccaneers. Panthers with Cam Newton's return upsetted the Cardinals. Vikings actually did something intelligent and got a win over the Chargers, which I can't believe I got to be nice to fucking Kirk Cousins later in the video. Broncos got beat by the Eagles. Seahawks lost to the Packers. Chiefs beat the Raiders, and the Rams on Monday Night Football lost to the 49ers. So in Week 10, I was 6-7-1, and during that time for the season, 91-58-1. That gets us to Week 11, which is the one we care about. Week 10, we're not discussing, because, well, I don't think we want to be here for like fucking 5 hours. So, Week 11. Patriots destroyed the goddamn Falcons. That wasn't even a game. That was a fucking massacre. And that's pretty much what that was, if anyone who saw that. I got to watch that at Tucker's, and dear Lord, was that game boring. Ravens beat the Bears thanks to some fourth quarter heroics. The Bills get upsetted by the Mr. Jones's Colts. The Browns, unfortunately, beat the Lions, continuing the Lions' losing streak as they are now 0-9-1. The Texans shock the world and beat the Titans. Kirk Cousins gets some demons erased as he does beat the Packers in a big, important game. Aaron Rodgers, by the way, is dealing with a broken toe. That could play a key factor the rest of the way. The Dolphins beat the Jets, keeping their playoff hopes alive. The Eagles beat the Saints, hurting the Saints' chances. Washington beat the Panthers, giving Washington some hope, but the Panthers are still in the hunt. The 49ers beat the Jaguars. The Bengals destroy a Raiders team who looked dysfunctional. My Cowboys, unfortunately, ran into the buzzsaw known as the Kansas City Chiefs. The Cardinals pretty much handled the business with the Seahawks with Colt McCoy, of all people. Chargers won a fourth quarter game against the Steelers, and of course last night on Monday night, or 2 nights ago, the Buccaneers pretty much handled their business with the Giants. That put me at 8-7 for this week, so winning week by the skin of my fucking teeth. And for the season, I am 99-65-1. So Dave, how did you do in week 11, and what is your season ranking right now? Because of the tie from week 10. Yeah. Well, fair enough. When Mr. Jones gets here, we'll ask him his. But let's talk about some of these games from this past week in a little more detail. First, Bills and Colts. First thing, I got to give credit to the Colts. They destroyed the Bills defensively. The running back, oh God, 5 touchdowns? Yeah, in Buffalo. So congratulations to the Colts, but I'm going to say this with Buffalo. I am very disappointed in them right now because you've been hearing me all season long saying how they're my AFC pick to go to the Super Bowl. They got the best defense. I love their offense. But man, it seems ever since the last few weeks they've been lost. And it worries me because now if they would have beat the Colts, they would have still been in the hunt for the #1 seed. But with that loss, that put them from the 3rd seed to the 7th. So Bills are in big trouble because if they tie with the Colts at the end of the season, the Colts will make the playoffs. Bills need to wake the fuck up. And unfortunately, though, for the Bills, while you do get a little bit of a break with the Saints, you still have to play the Patriots twice and the Buccaneers. So your schedule is not that easy coming up. Titans and... Oh, we're going to that one. Holy shit. I don't think anybody on the planet had the Texans winning. I don't even think Texans fans had the Texans winning that game. And if you're the Titans, you got to ask yourself, what the hell happened? Because you are now in the danger because maybe it's because they don't have Derrick Henry anymore. The running games disappear with him out. Adrian Peterson didn't work out. But I'm going to say this. There's a good chance that the Titans continue this. Not only will the Colts steal the division, but we could see the Patriots as the #1 seed in the AFC, which if that happens, I want to know what black fucking magic Bill Belichick used. What voodoo fucking shit he used, because I would love to know. Go ahead, pick one. Vikings got the 49ers. Packers got the Rams, yes. Oh, Packers, yeah. Packers got the Rams next. This week. Yeah, this week you got to beat them. Yeah, no problem. I understand that. Of course, and the last game we're going to discuss, the Niners game with my buddy Rockin' Reese on his Facebook thing, is the Chargers and Steelers. Oh my God. Depending on what position you played, well, if you love defense, there was none because it was like 41 to something. Chargers won. So if you love offense and high scoring or had any of those players on your fantasy team, you probably won unless it was the defense because the defense for them were not existent. That's a game to where the ratings were high for it, but it's because no one could stop anything. And unfortunately, we know me. I love defense, so that was kind of like a game I had a hard time watching, but I'm happy the Chargers won. Now, before we get to the playoff standings, some news we need to discuss. First thing first, the Giants today fired offensive coordinator Jason Garrett, which I don't think that surprised anybody. Go ahead. The coach. You mean to be the head coach? Oh, God. That'd be scary. Now, of course, well, you brought up the thing I'm going to discuss next, and that is the Bears situation. There's a lot of rumors that if the Bears lose to the Lions tomorrow, that the head coach will be fired. Now, remember, they can't hire Jason Garrett after the season's over, so it will be interesting. And Andy Dalton will be starting. And I think what hurt the Bears coach here, he had to start Justin Fields early. I think personally he didn't want to, but I think between pressure from the fan base and pressure from ownership, he had to start him early. I think Justin should have been still left in the oven for a while to heat. He was not ready. But we'll see how Andy Dalton does against the Lions tomorrow. But if the Bears lose, I think he's going to be fired, which brings the point, do the players want him fired? Because, and we're going to see how that goes, because if the Bears don't really try, or they purposely suck, yeah, they want him fired, which I think would be unfair, but we'll see how it goes. But yes, Jason Garrett was fired. He should have been fired a few weeks ago, but because he did win going into the bye week, the old saying goes, it's hard to fire somebody when they won. But yeah, I think it's just cause, and I think there's still one more person left to be fired from the Giants, and that's the head coach. I want to give the quarterback one more. Yeah, I want the head coach fired. I want to give the quarterback of the Giants one more chance because of the fact of we don't know if it's him or if it's the organization. Because I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just think he's in a bad place, unfortunately. So there is that. Of course, let's talk about the one thing. Minnesota Vikings DN Everson Griffin leaves home getting care. The Vikings released a statement Wednesday afternoon saying the team has been notified by law enforcement agencies that defensive end E. Griffin came out of his home without incident and is now getting the care that he needs. Hours after the 33-year-old made a series of disturbing Instagram posts early Wednesday morning claiming that someone was in his home trying to kill him. We are thankful to the county sheriff's office, Minnesota police department, and all that. The Viking statement read, "Our focus remains on Evanson's health and safety and providing the proper resources for him and his family." Earlier Wednesday, the Missouri Public Safety Department said in a news release that Griffin called 911 at 3 a.m. Wednesday from his residence and said someone was inside his home while questioning assistance from authorities. Griffin told the 911 dispatcher that he fired a weapon, but that no one was injured. According to the news release, law enforcement and Vikings team psychiatrists were in communications with Griffin since 7 a.m. Why does everyone want to keep sending me shit for Jump Force? I don't have that installed. Early Wednesday morning, Griffin made several Instagram posts, all of which had been deleted, including a video that showed the defensive end inside his home with a pistol, which he said belonged to him. "I'm in my house, blank trying to pop me. I still got clips left. This is my gun." But it seems like hopefully he's all right, and if it is a mental health thing, hopefully he gets the help he needs. I don't want to go into too much detail about that because we don't want sadness in the world. We want happiness. So going into some breaking news that broke 35 minutes ago, Michigan State coach Mel Tucker agrees to a 10-year, $95 million contract to remain at the school. Well, Michigan State has had a good year this year. No, Penn State was earlier this week as well. QB Aaron Rodgers says he has a fractured, not COVID toe. Saints will Kamala. Oh, the Saints will be without Kahama, and Ingram is questionable for tomorrow night's game. By the way, this is some big news. Rams and NFL settled with St. Louis lawsuit for $790 million. So the Rams and the NFL had to pay St. Louis $790 million. Now, of course, I'm sure what Well, actually, no. I think they got... it should be higher because, remember, the Rams left and broke the contract and went to L.A. So that's why everyone... and I still feel sad for the St. Louis fans because they don't have an NFL team. What's funny is the one who owns the Rams owns other sports teams in St. Louis, so that's kind of funny. Dolphins claim... Yep. I believe it's one of them. Dolphins claim veteran running back Lindsey off waivers, so Dolphins have a decent running back. Cowboys CeeDee Lamb will most likely be playing tomorrow against the Raiders. Ezekiel Elliott will be playing with hurt ankle. Unfortunately, Amari Cooper will not be able to play due to COVID protocols because he couldn't, with it being a short week, which I do feel sad for him because remember, this was his revenge game in the sense that the Raiders are his former team. But I'd rather have him miss this week and be healthy for the rest of the season, so I'm with that. So now let's get to the standings, something that you care about, I care about, everybody watching cares about, I think. So let's take off the playoff standings, because it's very interesting right now what's going on in the playoffs. So in the AFC, the number one seed is still the Tennessee Titans as they are 8-3, but Baltimore's only 1 game behind them right now at 7-3. The Patriots are the 3rd seed at 7-4, and the 4th seed is the Kansas City Chiefs at 7-4 as well. Kansas City and the Patriots stopped making that comeback because they both were terrible at the start of this year, but now it's like they're getting it together, which is dangerous. As for the wildcard teams, well, WKRP Cincinnati's the 5th seed at 6-4, and if you've seen that show, you know what tomorrow's episode is all about if you can find it. It is the episode where it's raining turkeys, where they threw live turkeys out of a helicopter, and the quote that says, "I swear to God, I thought turkeys could fly." If you've never seen that, type in WKRP Cincinnati on YouTube and type in turkey. You will laugh your ass off because that is nothing but, you will literally need a diaper because that's like the funniest shit you'll ever see. The 6th seed are the Chargers because of their win over the Steelers, putting the Chargers at the 6th seed at 6-4, and Buffalo barely hanging on to that 7th seed at 6-4. As for the wildcard team, teams outside looking in, Pittsburgh's the 8th seed at 5-4-1. That tiebreaker is helping them right now. Colts and the Browns are tied at 6-5. The Raiders and Broncos are 5-5, and the Miami Dolphins still have some hope left at 4-7, but they need some help. Houston, Jacksonville, and the Jets, they're 1 game away from being eliminated. So don't be surprised if they're eliminated this week. Now, staying in the AFC a little bit, I think the biggest surprise so far is the Buffalo Bills, how far they have fallen. Wouldn't you agree, Dave? And what's making me sad is there's a chance. But it's going to be, we're going to. Yeah, pretty much. Because Buffalo lost. No, Miami won this past week, remember? It's alright. I think the biggest surprise, though, for the worst team right now is Buffalo. I think Bills are the worst. As far as to the most surprising team right now in the wild card hunt or in playoff situation, I gotta go with Cincinnati because I don't think too many people had Cincinnati being in the playoff race, and they're the 5th seed right now. And ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by the man from MIB headquarters. You know, I think he is off today. It is Mr. Jones. Oh shit, that's Mr. Jones. Are you there? Over. Copy, copy.
Can anybody hear me?
There we go. We can hear him. You haven't missed much. The only things we did was went over the last 2 weeks, week 10 and 11. We haven't made picks yet. We're right now in the discussing playoffs. Which that's the thing, because you're a Colts fan. I know you're happy right now. You're right in the thick of the hunt. You're the ninth best team. You're on the outside looking in. You got to win some more games and get some help from other people. But Colts, I got to say, Colts look like a dangerous team if they get into the playoffs because of their running game.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be interesting because the Colts this week play the Buccaneers. So, and you guys could easily win that one. We'll see how we all agree when we get to the picks. By the way, just in case anybody wants to know, my Cowboys play the Raiders tomorrow. Mr. Jones's Colts play the Buccaneers. Dave's 49ers play the Vikings. And my mom's Ravens play the Browns on Sunday night, which it's kind of funny. Mr. Jones has got to cheer for the Ravens, which is something Colts fans don't like doing that often. But we'll see how that goes. In the NFC, Arizona's the number 1 seed and overall best team in the NFL at 9-2. Followed by Green Bay at 8-3. Hashtag for Vibrator, fuck Aaron Rodgers. Buccaneers are the 3rd seed at 7-3, followed by Dallas in the 4th. Your wildcard teams at the moment. The Rams at 7-3. The Vikings at 5-5 in the 6th, and the Saints in the 7th seed at 5-5 because they hold the tiebreak over the Niners. But that could all change this weekend because the Niners play the Vikings, so whoever wins that game is in control of their own destiny because then they just got to win out and you'll be in the playoffs. Saints, if they lose to the Bills, that also helps the Vikings and Niners as well. Eagles and Panthers are 5-6, so they're still in the hunt. Washington and Atlanta 4-6, they're still in the hunt. The Giants, Chicago, and Seahawks, they're still in the hunt, but they need to win the fuck out, which ain't gonna happen because the Giants play the Eagles this weekend. Seahawks play Washington on Monday, and Chicago plays tomorrow against the Lions. That might be the only team that gets saved. Looking at the NFC, I think the most surprising thing right now is probably the Vikings actually are in the playoff hunt. So fuck you, Minnesota. That's all I got to say. Fuck you, Minnesota.
Wow, something tells me that Kirk Cousins is smiling from ear to ear.
He can kiss my ass. Dave already... most disappointing thing, though, and you guys may agree with me on this. If not, who do you think the most disappointing team right now is in the NFC? The Seattle Seahawks. You would think with Russell Wilson and all that defense that they would be in the hunt, but they are so far on the outside looking in, it's not even funny. One more loss and I think they're eliminated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know you're glad, but it's still shocking to see Russell Wilson being the 15th best team in the NFC. That is shocking to me. By the way, Mr. Jones, what you did miss, Aaron Rodgers will be playing with a fractured toe this Sunday against the Rams. The Bears may fire their head coach if they lose to the Lions tomorrow. Jason Garrett was fired as offensive coordinator today.
Oh, damn.
The Saints will be without their starting 2 running backs tomorrow. Yeah, so keep that in mind. So with that being said, it's time for the picks before we head to college football. So let's get to the games this week. Of course, we have 3 games on Turkey Day. The first game will be at 12:30. Gobble, gobble. And remember, I swear to God, I thought turkeys could fly. I'm referencing since WKRP. I love that show. But the first game, it is on Fox at 12:30. It will be the 3-7 Bears taking on the 0-9-1 Lions. Now, Andy Dalton will be starting for the Bears as Justin Fields is most likely not going to be playing due to a rib injury. Chicago's favored by 3 points, and when I was talking to my buddy Rockin' Reese earlier today when I was doing his show with him, the Lions, this might be their best chance to get a win this week because of the fact of how the rest of the schedule goes. And I say that because after this, the Lions play the Vikings, the Broncos, and then the Cardinals. That's 3 hard games. After that, they do play Atlanta and Seattle. So, if they don't win tomorrow, they probably won't be able to have a good chance again until the December 26th. Chicago, though, they need this one to keep playoff hopes alive. Andy Dalton will be starting. Jared Goff has not played bad, but not great.
Gobble?
Yeah, gobble pretty much. As far as for the stats you need to know, this is why this game is a 3-point spread for Chicago. Chicago gets about 16.3 points a game. Lions get about 16. And Lions also give up the most points in this game at 27.3 to 24. Total yards are about the same, and yards allowed they're about the same. I'm going to take Chicago here. This is my lock of the week. I don't trust Detroit. Now, that being said, Detroit could easily win this game because of the problems with Chicago. They're missing their star defensive player for the year. Andy Dalton's a backup for a reason. Now, he's not a bad starting quarterback, but he's a good backup. But Bears need this win in momentum, and I will say this, I have to agree, if the Bears lose this game, expect their head coach to be fired within the next week. And I think just wait till the end of the season and fire him then, win or lose, just so you don't have to worry about it in some head coach trying to prove that he deserves a head job. Mr. Jones, you're next.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chicago with this one. Even though Chicago lost last week against the Ravens,
They should have won that game.
they should. Oh yeah, they should have won. Damn it, they should have won. Um, it's not. You could. They could definitely hold their own against a top tier, which Ravens is not much of a top tier as of late. But at the same time, they could show that what they can do. But with the Lions, they have not shown improvement at all. You know, they have not shown improvement at all. So with that being said, improvement definitely gets the point. So I'm going with the Bears.
2 for the Bears. So, Dave, are you joining us with Chicago and making it a turkey? Or are you going to go for the spare and take the Lions? Oh, wow. So you're saying the Lions get their first win on Thanksgiving?
Shit.
If the Lions win, that's a Thanksgiving miracle. I think we might all choke on our turkey though at the same time because no.
I think that what they should do to see who get the ball first is break the wishbone.
Oh God, that would be hilarious. Actually, I would love to see that. All right, so moving on to the next game, it is the Dallas Cowboys at home against the Raiders. Dallas is favored by 7.5 points. Of course, we know Dallas. We've already said CeeDee Lamb will be playing. Looks like he passed concussion protocol. Elliott will be playing with a bum ankle. Dallas should be getting some more players returning as well. Looking at the injury report, the only 2 players out for Dallas right now will be Kevin Joseph at cornerback and Cooper. It looks like Lawrence and Wilson is still on injured reserve, but Lamb will be playing. Raiders will have Nick Kay, linebacker, out, and cornerback Kelsey Nix out as well. They are missing their forward Alec Ingold, and the cornerback, the guard actually John Simpson is questionable. But also looking at it, the Raiders, Dallas leads in getting the most points, 29.3 to set 22. Raiders allow more points, 26.2 to 21. And Dallas does lead in total yards, and they're about even on yards allowed. But here's the thing. The Raiders, unfortunately, if you looked at them, they have been a clusterfuck since the Gruden situation. And then you count what happened a few weeks ago when they had back-to-back players they had to cut due to stupidity of the players. Ironically enough as well, ESPN has Dallas winning this game by 75.1%. Derek Carr's had 16 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Dak is 20-7. The running game for the Raiders has not been that good either. Dallas has been using the 1-2 punch of Elliott and Pollard. Of course, taking the Cowboys here as well. What's funny is if you're the Colts, you need the Cowboys to win because if the Raiders lose, that helps push the Raiders back in the playoff hunt, pushes them back. And that's really, pretty much anybody in the AFC hunt. They want the Cowboys to win this game. The only ones who really would want Dallas to lose would be the Eagles and Washington so they can try to catch up in the division because Dallas, even what they lost, still has a big lead in the division. But, I'm taking the Cowboys here. Both teams need this win, but I'm hoping Dallas pulls this out and gives me a good Thanksgiving. So go Cowboys. Dave, as the resident Dallas Cowboy hater, you get to go next. So you've taken Dallas, or you're going to take the 49ers little brother? Well, no, I can't even say the Niners little brother anymore because the Raiders are in Vegas now. So are you taking the Raiders to turn things around, or do you think the Raiders continue the spiral down of hell? If they lose, I'm coming to New York and kicking your ass. What's funny is because you said Oakland, and I know the Vegas Raiders, but I've been keeping a track of that. So far this year, we have said the Oakland Raiders name 100 times, and we've called the Chargers San Diego Chargers at least 25 times. So we are still, and we've called the Redskins pretty much a lot as well, about 100, and yeah, so we're never going to get used to the names. So, but Mr. Jones, it's your pick next. Are you gonna make this a turkey call, or are you gonna jump ship and go to the Raiders this week?
No, I'm actually gonna go ahead and go with Dallas. Crazy as that sounds.
Okay, before we continue, we have a comment. I'll let you explain why. My buddy Wicked said he is taking the Lions to win tomorrow. Holy shit.
Oh, dang.
So Wicked's made his pick on that one. But what? So you're taking the Cowboys. What's the reasoning for that?
I just can't trust the Raiders in their with all their issues. You know, there's so much that every player has on their mind. I know a lot of the coaches. I know some of the guys back there will say, like, you know, don't think of the negative, think of the positive. But if you've been watching some of their games, it just shows that it's still a worry on their heads that, you know, you got key players that, you know, are like that are out because of the issues that's going on that camp. So with that being said, it's one of those things where you go, damned if you, damned you don't. And with Dallas, most of their problem comes with, you know, the wrong playing, you know, the wrong plays and all that jazz. But you still have your key players playing, and like you said, like some of the plays that they're going to have to really look over, like with Elliott, you know, because you say he had a bum ankle, you know, do you play him or do you put the backup, you know, and you got Dax back on the team with all his issues, but his issues are not as big as corporate issues as well as back, you know, locker room issues, you know. So with that being said, you know, you still got that team mentality with Dallas.
Fair enough. And like you said, getting to the Raiders real quick, those two players, and this is what's kind of sad in all this, they were drafted in the 2020 draft, so last year's draft in April, and they both got cut. So those are busts, unfortunately for the Raiders, and that hurts them because that's two players who, no fault of the Raiders organization, well, kind of, because they didn't get to do their research in the 2020 draft. No one did because of COVID, but that hurt them, and we're going to see how that continues because now they're going to have to rebuild the entire receiving and defensive core again because of that. But moving on to the Sunday night game. Why did I say Sunday? Botch. The Thursday night game, it would be the Bills at the Saints. Buffalo is favored by 6.5 points. Ooh, both teams need a win here bad. Bills are barely hanging on to a playoff spot. The Saints are barely hanging on to a wild card spot as well. Both teams have been punched in the mouth the last few weeks. Bills got destroyed by the Colts. Saints haven't been the same since Winston's been out with the injury. So, again, quoting Thanos, Saints fans, what did it cost you to beat the Buccaneers? It cost us our quarterback. Because since then, you guys have sucked. At this point, I think Wicked could be a better quarterback for you guys. I think Dave could be a better quarterback than who you got. Mr. Jones could be a better... You see where I'm going with this, right, guys? The Saints quarterback problems. Which, at least for Winston, it proves one thing. The Saints need him, so he will get a bigger contract most likely. But give me Buffalo here, guys. I don't trust the Saints offensively. Now that we know they'll be out with the two running backs this week, they're going to be out. This is a done deal. Give me Buffalo on the road. Two for the Bills. Now, here's the funny thing with Mr. Jones. He needs the Bills to lose this game to help the Colts. So, Mr. Jones, are you going to take the Bills or are you going to take the Saints?
Well, I need the win for the season, so...
Yeah, because you and me are tied.
I'm gonna go with the Bills because here's the thing: as much as I want my Colts to win, in the division. And if Buffalo loses, if Buffalo wins, so be it. If Buffalo loses, so be it. Um, but here's the thing about Buffalo. Again, like you said, they got smacked upside the head 2 weeks in a row. I don't know what's going to help them to get back on track, but either or, I think they put up the points just to do so. I can't fathom the fact that them losing to the Saints. So, but I may just go ahead and shoot myself in the foot and say Buffalo will win.
So all three vote for the Bills. All right, and time for the Sunday games. The first one we're discussing is, ironically enough, Mr. Jones's team. It will be the Colts at home taking on the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is favored by 3.5 points, but this game is a little bit more intriguing now, as the Colts' running game has been very done well. The defense played very well against Buffalo, dominating the good Bills offense. Buccaneers, before their bye week, coming off the bye, I can't talk right. Buccaneers lost to a Washington team they should have beat. They did handle their business with the Giants, but I watched that Monday night game. I was not impressed by Tampa Bay. Colts have been impressing. I can't believe I'm saying that, because the quarterback, we've made fun of this on this channel a few times because he went from the Eagles to there, but he's been playing well the last few weeks. But that running game for Indianapolis, that's the key there, and that defense has been doing pretty well. And one of the biggest problems with Tampa Bay this year, and I discussed it with somebody earlier today, is the depth chart for Tampa. That is the biggest problem. We don't know if Antonio Brown's playing. Gronk just came back. Evans is still there, but the Bucs have made a lot of simple mistakes. I mean, Brady got intercepted on Monday night by the Giants defense, which, guess what? I think that was the first time they've intercepted a ball in weeks for the Giants. I think we've all had more turnovers than the Giants defense has had. So, with that all being said, and it's in Indianapolis, I think maybe I'm losing. I should go back to Tucker's, depending what happens. But this is my upset pick of the week. I am taking the Colts at home to beat the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers. So give me the Colts at home. Mr. Jones, you're the Colts fan here, so you riding with the Colts, I guess, because I know you all probably.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even though I said I wasn't after the major loss he took against a team that I don't want to say, but. And this was gonna be a hard one, because like my thing is this: my Colts, they're not gonna be upset if I pick the Buccaneers, but at the same time, the Buccaneers haven't been playing as well as they should have been. I mean, granted, look who they played last time.
Buccaneers, they played the Giants on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Who offensively is inept, and defensively they're even worse.
Yeah, so it's like, I think at this point in time, I think Tom is like, do I even care?
Oh, what was that?
But,
yeah.
But at the same time, I'm going to say, give it to the Colts. It's like, yeah. Now, will it be a close game? Absolutely. It's not going to be a walk in the park for them. No, I don't think the Bucs is that type of team.
All right, so we got 2 for the Colts, which I'm not surprised. I think everyone's probably surprised I picked the Colts, though, because we know I don't pick them that often. So that gets us to Dave. Dave, are you taking the Colts at home, or are you going to ride with Tom Brady? 3 for the Colts. Oh, wow, that's your upset pick. Damn. All right, so all 3 for the Colts, but I think there's only one game we disagreed on, and that was the Bears and Lions so far. Holy shit. Until we get to this game, because, ladies and gentlemen, this is your tank of the week, your tank bowl, your pile of shit game, the game so bad you'd rather play Superman 64, Shaq Fu, and E.T. on Atari. Game of the week. It is the 2-8 New York Jets on the road against the 2-8 Houston Texans. Oh dear God, if this game is being shown in my area, I want to know why I'm being punished. You got Red Zone, yeah. By the way, Wicked has joined us. Hey, Wicked.
What's up? What's up?
Doing good. Just doing the pick show. Who now? If I recall, before we continue, who's your dad's team?
My dad's team?
Yeah.
Steelers.
Steelers. Okay, we'll get to them a little bit later. But right now we're on the Jets and Texans. I'm going to say this, guys. I don't want to watch this game. I'm probably going to because I love train wrecks and travesties and bad comedies and bad horror films, so this might be one. And I base this pick solely on one thing. I flipped a coin because both teams are the same to me. Terrible. And both teams are going to try to tank because the loser of this game will be guaranteed a top 5 pick in the draft, I believe. So give me the Texans because, well, they actually want to win games. The Jets purposely want to lose games at this point. So give me the Texans.
Do I even want to pick this?
You got to. You know we don't do ties here.
Oh no, I'm not even talking about ties. It's just.
Oh, you just want to skip the game, period.
It's a train wreck.
Oh no. We got to make a pick for this one.
You know what? I'll do it just for the fun of it. I'm just doing it just for the fun of it. I'm picking I'm picking Jets.
Oh goodness. Yeah, so Dave, that comes to you then. Are you going to ride high with the Jets, or are you going to say, God bless Texans? Fair enough, fair enough. The next one, well, I don't think we're going to have a disagreement on this one. It is the Giants at home against the Eagles. Eagles are still alive in the playoff race. The Giants Giants with one more loss, you may as well just say enjoy golf. Philadelphia's favored by 3.5 points. Giants just fired the offensive coordinator, so we don't know who's going to be calling the plays. Giants still have a lot of injuries. So give me the Eagles on the road here. I just think the Eagles, in this situation, are the better team. Two for the Eagles, all right. And then Mr. Jones.
Yeah, I'll go with the Eagles. I'll go with you guys. There's nothing good to say about the Giants. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be. There is nothing good about this. I can't even think of a compliment for the Giants. Because even in being New York, they're not the worst New York team, but they're not the best New York team anymore. Well, they're still called New York, so shh. That ain't gonna happen. Next game, and this game is very interesting now because both teams need this win. It is the Panthers against the Dolphins. Dolphins are 4-7. Panthers are 5-6. Carolina's favored by 2 points. And you know what? I believe in Cam Newton. I am taking the Panthers here. Cam Newton's just a better quarterback. Miami's got too many issues with quarterback. Yes, the Dolphins are on a 2-game win streak. But if you look at who they play, they beat a Ravens team who looked lost and confused, and a Jets team who, I'm sorry, if we put me, Mr. Jones, Dave, and Wicked, we could beat the Jets. Just us four. We wouldn't need anybody else. That's how bad the Jets are. So give me the Panthers on the road. Yeah, the Panthers do have McCaffrey back.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, he came back a few weeks ago. So, Mr. Jones, ball's in your court. Are you taking? Are you going? Are you going to be doing the Will Smith Miami song? Or are you going to be going Sweet Caroline? Bum, bum,
Bum,
bum.
bum, bum. Oh, wow. Putting a gun to my head.
Actually, it's a turkey leg.
I didn't see how Cam looked.
Cam played good against Arizona, and Washington, Carolina lost. He still got 2 touchdowns. The reason the Panthers lost to Washington was the defense.
You know what? This will be my upset of the week. I'm gonna go Miami.
All right, 2-1 split there. And now to a game that, well, a lot has changed in this game from a few weeks ago. It is the Titans on the road against the Patriots. This could really well be for the first place in the division, depending on what happens with Baltimore on Sunday night. Patriots are favored by a touchdown. Now, Titans again, they've been going on. They just lost to Houston. Derrick Henry's out for the season because of his injuries. Patriots are in the right place, right time. They've been picking up speed. The defense has improved a lot. The rookie quarterback, who will be Rookie of the Year, has played well. He's not playing like a rookie. I think that's because he went to Sweet Home Alabama. So as much as I hate saying this because it hurts when I pick them to win, I literally feel like my soul is being burnt alive. I am taking the Patriots at home to beat the Titans. All right, so we split. Mr. Jones, if you're taking the Titans, are you taking the Patriots?
Oh, wow. I made a bet with somebody that the Patriots couldn't win 8 games, and I'm shooting myself in the foot for this. Wow. And Henry's out for the season, isn't he?
He's out for the season. Well, what makes it hard is because of how bad the Titans played against the Texans. That's the problem.
I guess I'm gonna have to go Patriots.
Patriots, all right. Before we get to the next game, I want to ask Dave this because he did pick the Titans. Dave, why did you pick the Titans to win this one? Do you think it was just a fluke loss last week? Maybe. We'll find out, though. And now we head to, well, baby, if you ever wondered what became of me, I'm on the air in Cincinnati. WKRP, as we're back in the city that we all love on this channel, WKRP Cincinnati, as they take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, of course, the Steelers not been playing well between the tie against Detroit and then their defense really not being able to stop anything the Chargers could do, while the Bengals starting to get more momentum now, looking like a playoff team with that young Joe Burrow who likes to smoke cigars. It is in Cincinnati. The Bengals are favored by 4.5 points. And I'm going to say this, Big Ben, for the love of God, do not be like The Undertaker or Bill Goldberg. Retire. Yes, it will help the Steelers because apparently their backup quarterback is terrible. Wicked, I'm going to say this. Your dad could be the Steelers quarterback. You could be the Steelers quarterback after Big Ben. Heck, everybody who you know at your church could be a better quarterback, could be the backup for Big Ben. Does that tell you how bad this backup quarterback is for the Steelers? That everybody on the planet's better than him? My mom, who's in a wheelchair, would be a better quarterback, be a better backup. And Bengals have a better defense, and I'm just going to pull up some stats right here real quick just to give you a point before I make my pick, which if you know me, if you've been watching the pick show the last few this year, you know who I'm picking. Uh, let's see. Here's the thing: the Bengals actually score more points than the Steelers this year, 26.8 to 21.4. Points allowed, they're about the same, but where it differs is total yards. The Bengals get an average of about 30 more yards than the Steelers have this year. And the Bengals actually have something called a running game, unlike Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh defensively has given up about 20 yards more a game than Cincinnati. So yeah, I am taking the Cincinnati Bengals here, and let's hope for the Steelers' sake, no one throws turkeys out of a helicopter. Whoa, 2 for the Bengals. Now, this is where it's interesting for Mr. Jones, because a Steelers loss helps the Colts, because it puts the Steelers back. But a Bengals loss helps the Colts as well. So it's really one of those situations where whoever loses, it helps the Colts. So, Mr. Jones.
Whoever loses, they're going to help us.
Pretty much.
Well, I'm going to go with Cincinnati. I know their game very well. I'm not too much of a Steelers fan, but at the same time, nothing to take away from the Steelers. It's just, you got a better quarterback.
Fair enough. Plus, Big Ben's too old for this shit.
And don't get me wrong, you got those guys who's looking for their last hoorah. I mean, look at what's his name, Brett Favre. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, he should have retired before he went to other places, but no, he didn't want to. Well, remember how we were discussing that one game that was a clusterfuck between the Jets and the Texans a few minutes ago? Mm-hmm. There's one more clusterfuck game we got to discuss, the last 1 o'clock game. The second Tank Bowl. It will be the 4-6 Falcons at the 2-8 Jaguars. Atlanta's favored by 2 points. I don't know how, between only getting 3 points against Dallas and then putting up nothing against the Patriots. Jacksonville still sucks. They got killed by the Niners. Jacksonville's 2 wins are both flukes as far as I'm concerned. They are not all elite. If you get that reference, congratulations. Give me the Falcons. I'm sorry, guys. Atlanta, please. I am on my knees right now. Please do not let Matty Ice loose to Jacksonville. Give that man a nice little road win, please, for Thanksgiving weekend. He deserves it. He's a good quarterback. It's just that you guys keep fucking him without the jelly. So please stop it, Atlanta. Give the man some help, or let the man go to a team that will actually give him a ring. But give me Atlanta. Yep. Nope. All right, before we get to Mr. Jones's pick, I'm just saying this right now after hearing Dave take the Jaguars. I am opening up a little the sample pack I got from the ABC store of Jack Daniels because my buddy Travis Glenn told me about it. So depending what Mr. Jones does, depending who he picks, I will be drinking the Tennessee Honey real quick because I ain't going to want to hear this. So Mr. Jones, who are you picking, the Falcons or the Jags?
I'm sorry, I am never trusting the Jags. I'm going to Atlanta.
Oh, thank God I don't have to drink yet. Whew. Well, if the Jags win, I'm drinking. If the Lions win, I'm drinking. All right, so the next game is the only game at 4:05 Sunday. It is the Chargers at Broncos. Chargers are favored by 2.5 points. We just saw what they did to the Steelers this past Sunday, destroying Pittsburgh in the fourth quarter with getting a lot of points. Denver's been an up-and-down team this year. They're 5-5. They've won games they should have won, lost games they should have lost, but then at the same time, they beat the Cowboys, but then lay a goose egg the following week. Let's see, who do I have in this game? I flipped the page. Mr. Jones, I'll let you go first. Chargers or Broncos?
Wow. Jesus. I'm gonna go Chargers.
Go, Chargers, go. All right. Dave? Go, Chargers, go. Well, I may as well make it 3 for 3 then. I am also taking the Chargers. So everyone, say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go, Chargers,
Go,
Chargers, go. I think that's the first time we've all taken the Chargers too, which is kind of hilarious. All right, going to the next two games, which are at 4:25. The Rams are taking on the Packers in Green Bay. The Rams are favored by a point. We saw the Rams not. It's looking like Odell Beckham Jr. It's taken a while for him to get everything together. The defense with Von Miller not there yet. No problem. And Aaron Rodgers is dealing with a fractured foot. I wrote this down today, so it would have been after the injury. Fair enough. So with that being said, I will go first. It's in Green Bay. The weather's going to be a factor here, and I don't think Rodgers is as hurt as he's making it out to believe, but we shall see. He could be, so he doesn't have to play, and they put Jordan Love in, which if they announce Jordan Love's going in, I'm going to hate myself, because then I know I'm going to lose this game. But I'm taking the Packers here. It seems like Odell Beckham Jr. is not meshing well yet with the Rams. It may take another game. Same with Von Miller, so maybe week 13 they'll have that all together and figure it out. So there might be a little bit more of a hurting curve for them. I think Matthew Stafford will play well, hopefully. But I just feel like if it was in LA, I'd probably take the Rams here. But since it's in Green Bay, I got to take the Packers. All right. Mr. Jones?
Yeah, I'm going Packers.
All right. And
Beckham made a bad decision.
I agree. He should have probably went to Kansas City or Green Bay, which gets me to my friend Travis Glenn. If he's watching, hi, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Have a good Thanksgiving. By the way, happy Thanksgiving to Wicked as well, who joined us. He's with us. If the Packers lose, I'm going to be pissed because I picked them to beat Minnesota, and you guys let me down then. Don't let me down this week against Matthew Stafford, because if you lose to Matthew Stafford, I think Aaron Rodgers might quit. He might literally quit.
Don't let me down.
Pretty much.
Let me down.
And the next game is the last 4:25 game on Sunday in Week 12, which, well, if you know me, you know who I'm picking at this point. It is the lousy, no good, pathetic, disgusting, most vile, evil thing to wear the color purple in the history of mankind, the Minnesota Vikings.
That one.
That is on a 2-game winning streak, I believe. Taking on the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco, I usually make fun of you a lot. You're favored by 3 points right now. San Francisco, please do not lose to Minnesota. I do not want to see Kirk Cousins happy. Because when Kirk Cousins is happy, I am sad. He doesn't... I'm sorry. The old saying goes when an angel gets his wings when a bell rings. When Kirk Cousins wins, that's when I get sad and want to start banging my head upside a coconut tree. So 49ers, please win. You are my pick because I refuse to pick Kirk Cousins. Fuck that. So yeah, go 49ers. This will be one of the few times I will wear the red and gold of San Francisco. Dave, we know who you're picking, so just say it. Yeah, but here's my question though. Are you going to play Kirk Cousins because that's your quarterback in fantasy football? Come on. If that happens, you will be the 6th seed and have control of your own destiny. Oh, please do. Every time Kirk Cousins gets sacked, my heart gets a little bigger. Another baby gets born, exactly. Now, Mr. Jones, are you going to defend Kirk Cousins, or are you going to continue helping us bury this man?
You know what? I'm actually gonna go for the Vikings. They're my upset.
Oh my God! Oh dear.
That is my upset for the week.
Well, Mr. Jones, you know I love you like a brother, but you are now the enemy of the Republic for 1 week. Stormtroopers, go to Ohio. And this time, actually, don't shoot the barn, damn it. We're not having a fire again.
But you know what? Here's the thing. The reason why, and I hate to say it, I usually don't trust my gut, and I usually would say I will go with the 49ers. But something tells me they're going to win with an upset. They're going to win. They're going to win by a field goal.
Oh God, and they have done that this year a lot. The Vikings. Now, I just want to say this: if anyone ever sends my pick show to Kirk Cousins, please do, because I would love to see. I would just like to see him say my name on the stream. Like, if they win a game, he's like, "Yeah, eat that, Doug Barrett. Yeah, eat that." And then I'm like, "Well, I got put in my place." Exactly. All right, getting to the Sunday night game for this week. It is the Browns against the Ravens. Baltimore's favored by 3.5 points. The game is in Baltimore. My family will be watching this game with great importance because depending what happens with the Patriots-Titans, Baltimore has a chance to get the number 1 seed depending how things go. And I am not picking Cleveland. I have picked against them last week and it hurt me a bit, but I think Baltimore, without Lamar Jackson, they actually beat the Bears. I think with Lamar Jackson being back this week and having another few key players back, Baltimore should win this game at home. But if Cleveland wins this, that opens the division wide open again for everybody because the Steelers will still be in it. Cincinnati, I believe, will be the first place in the division. At that point, if they win, and Cleveland will be in it. Because here's the thing: Baltimore has not won a division game yet. They're 0-1 in the division against Cleveland, Cincy, and Pittsburgh. So Baltimore needs this win. Give me the Ravens at home, and we're going to go to Mr. Jones since he's a Colts fan, and Colts fans hate Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I think this is where Lamar Jackson snaps out of it and actually plays football.
Okay, so you're going to take Baltimore.
Yeah.
Breaking news, because I just looked at it before we get to Dave. Week 13, there has been a switch in the games. The 49ers-Seahawks game has been moved from the Sunday night game to the 4:25 slot on CBS. Your Sunday night game now for Week 13. The 5-5 Broncos at the 7-4 Kansas City Chiefs. So, just make a mental note of that, okay, Dave? Your Niners are not the Sunday night game next week. And that's because, and here's the thing, they're switching it not because of the Niners. The Niners are actually a good team this year. They're switching it because of how bad the Seahawks are. So there's your first switch of the year. All right, getting back to the game we're discussing now. Browns and Ravens. 2 of us have picked Baltimore. Dave, are you joining us? Oh, you're taking the... Wow. My mom's going to want to kill you. She's gonna see your post about it. You're friends with her on Facebook. She's gonna want to give you a noogie. And this gets us to the last game of Week 12. It will be the Seahawks at Washington. Washington football team, aka Washington Redskins, as we like to say on this channel, playing pretty well. They got a little bit of control of their own destiny. If they can win out, because they'll win the division, they'll be able to steal it from Dallas. Seattle needs to win out just to get a playoff spot. But I don't trust Seattle defensively. They've looked terrible. Russell Wilson, I think he should have just stayed out the rest of the year and just let Geno Smith play because of the hand injury. There's talks that Russell Wilson may leave, or they may fire Pete Carroll at the end of the season. We'll see how that goes. Washington's played better with Heineke the last few games. Defensively, they've played better. So give me Washington at home to beat Seattle, which if you would have told me that in Week 1, I would have said you're full of shit. But I am taking Washington at home. Yeah, but Washington still looks better, even with the injury.
Yeah, I'm taking Washington myself.
So we're all taking Washington. So that is the picks for this week, guys. So let's just take a look ahead to week 13. And I actually had to use my phone for this one since some things have changed. The Thursday night game next week on December 2nd will be the Cowboys at the Saints. Dallas is currently favored by 5 points. Ravens at Steelers. Baltimore's favored by 3 points. That's at 4:25 on CBS. Colts play the Texans in Week 13. Indy's favored by 7, so Mr. Jones, congratulations on beating the Texans next week. I don't think anyone's picking against the Colts on that one. Niners play the Seahawks. Congratulations, 49ers, on beating the Seahawks in Week 13. Congratulations. Broncos play the Chiefs on Sunday night. Your Monday night game in Week 13 is the Patriots at the Bills. And unfortunately for our buddy Vibrator, his Chicago Bears play the Cardinals in Week 13. That poor bastard. And now when I mean the poor bastard, I mean the Bears themselves. And then, of course, looking ahead to a few other games as well. Week 14's Thursday night game is the Steelers and Vikings, but we'll discuss Week 14 in better detail later. But before we go, we have one more thing to discuss. College football. The rankings came out for the 4 teams who would be in the playoffs. It was Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, and Cincinnati, who's undefeated. So Cincinnati finally got to move up. Then it's Michigan and Notre Dame. So Michigan and Notre Dame can steal a spot depending what happens with the Ohio. So if Michigan beats Ohio State's pretty much out of it.
No more Ohio State. Yeah.
And if Alabama loses to Georgia in the SEC championship, Alabama will be out. So there's a chance that maybe Notre Dame gets in because of Cincinnati still being undefeated, but Cincinnati would have to remain undefeated. Oklahoma State can still get in as well. But here's your entire top 25. I want to give that to you real quick. I hate how they do this, unfortunately. So let me go to the scores real quick before we discuss the games that will be aired all this week. Number 9 is Ole Miss. San Diego State is 21. Iowa is 16. Cincinnati's ranked number 4. Arkansas is 25. Utah is 19. North Carolina State Wolfpack is 20. So Kevin Nash. Georgia's 1. Notre Dame is 6. Ohio State is 2. Michigan is 5. Baylor is 8. Wake Forest is 18. Houston's 24. Undefeated UTSA Roadrunners are 11-0, but they are ranked number 22 because they play in a small fucking conference. So let's get to some games. And of course, if you don't want to watch any of the Thanksgiving games tomorrow, you have 2 games you can choose from. On FS1 at 3:30, you can watch Fresno State take on San Jose State. And then at ESPN at 7:30 tomorrow night, you have number 9 Ole Miss taking on Mississippi State. Friday, for those who would not be going out on Black Friday, you have San Diego State, who's 10-1, taking on Boise State on CBS. On Fox, you have Texas at home against KU. Eastern Michigan takes on Central Michigan. Ohio takes on Bowling Green on CBS Sports. Utah State takes on New Mexico. Iowa. Cincinnati takes on East Carolina on ABC. And there's some other games as well, but those are some of the more important. And of course, Saturday, the big important matchup. Ohio State takes on Michigan. Winner keeps playoff hopes alive. Loser will be gone from the playoff, most likely. So with that being said, let's make that. We're gonna do something we haven't done this year. We're going to make 5 college games, and I have all of them in a randomizer, so let's start. And oh, this is funny. Guess what the first game we get to pick for college is? Ohio State and Michigan's the first game we get to pick. So, I know who Dave's taking. You're taking Michigan because you're a diehard Michigan fan. I know that for a fact. And Mr. Jones is Ohio State Buckeyes through and through to the end. So this is my pick. And I think we bored Wicked, or that's Mr. Jones snoring. Um, am I right though, Mr. Jones? You're an Ohio State fan?
Yes, I am.
Yep. So that means I'm the one who gets to pick this one, who gets to be the tiebreaker, don't I? Because you ain't picking against your school. So I hate both teams equally because I'm a Notre Dame fan. But I'm looking at them. I've watched all their games because I'm a college nut. As much as it pains me, I have to go to Ohio State. I have to pick Ohio State. They just look better defensively. And John Harbaugh's biggest issue since he's returned as a Michigan coach, he hasn't beat Michigan. I mean, he hasn't beat Ohio State.
Repeat that again.
He hasn't beat Ohio State. Yes, except if it's Michigan against Ohio State, apparently. Game. You do look good, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I know you're taking Michigan. So game number 2.
Wake up!
It's wicked. It's all right. Game number 2 we're discussing now because we're doing 5 is another one from Saturday. Number 10 Oklahoma taking on number 7 Oklahoma State. Who do you got? All right, Oklahoma State. Mr. Jones?
Who's playing?
Oklahoma at Oklahoma State.
Oh, just Oklahoma.
I'm taking Oklahoma as well. Better team. Third game to do the Wheel of Fortune stops on. Another Saturday game. Pittsburgh at Syracuse. I'm taking Pittsburgh. All right, Mr. Jones, Pittsburgh or Syracuse?
Oh, Pittsburgh.
All right, 2 for Pittsburgh. Dave? All right. Game number 4. Hey, we're finally doing a... Oh, who are you taking, Syracuse or Pitt? Pitt, okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot you live in Syracuse. Game number 4. Hey, we're going to a Friday game now. Undefeated Cincinnati taking on 7-4 East Carolina. Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Oh, Cincinnati. And the last game we're discussing is a Friday game as well. And 2 scores no one probably has ever heard of. East Michigan taking on Central Michigan.
Central.
I'm taking Central, though, favored. So that's the picture for this week, guys. I hope everyone had is going to have a good Thanksgiving tomorrow. Of course, we will see you for next week's show picks. We'll be discussing more about college football and the NFL. Looking more at the wild card situation to see how that's panned out. But until then, let me voice my voice for a few minutes, because we got another stream we're doing. It's not going to be Psychonauts, because I'm pushing that back to next week. But there's a Southern game that involves big old anime titties we're going to be doing a look at. So give me a few minutes and we'll be right back.